We made a few videos now talking about the dating culture and a couple reaction videos, and there was a little bit of dogging on one side of the aisle. So today I wanted to dive into a little bit of a video about red flags in men. I'm not familiar with this creator personally. This video has a ton of views on it. I would imagine it's majorly successful. Let's see if the advice is good as somebody who has these types of things in check. I'd like to hear what she has to say and then possibly, agree or correct the opinion. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Kyle. I'm your guy with too many YouTube channels. Please go show Jillz, and I apologize for pronouncing your last name wrong, Guerin, some love in the pinned comment description down below. Let's get into it today.
So let's talk about red flags in men. So if you're dating someone or in a relationship with someone and he does these things, then it might be time to look the other way.
Let's see.
Hey guys, welcome back. If you're new here, my name's Jillz, and I help women step into their power and become their best selves, live their best lives. So if that's something you want to do, you should subscribe and stick around.
And you know what? On this channel, we talk about red flags and people all the time. I'm a big fan of saying that people are horrible nowadays. It's not men, it's not women, it's a bunch of people. And you know what? Maybe we'll have some good red flags for people to avoid today.
I've got 14 red flags for you guys today, which is kind of a lot, but I was writing an outline for this video in my phone and I just kept thinking of so many and I didn't want to trim the list down anymore.
Dude, realistically, there is probably more than that I can think about for both men and women. Like there's a lot that you need to have covered if there's a partner that you're going to stick with.
Now, I feel like there's a lot of red flags out there. And this isn't going to be the obvious stuff like he's flirting with other girls or he forgets your birthday. It's the good stuff. So here are the 14.
Dude, you know what's sad is I do feel bad that there's like actually girls out there that have guys that forget their birthday and things like that. It's acceptable if you like just start dating for like a couple months, but it's a conversation for another time.
Flags that you should never ignore in men.
Let's
but remember,
see.
before I dive in, that you are deserving of a good man and a good life partner. Don't keep...
That's not true either. That's not true. You need to be a good, capable partner yourself. And I say that on both sides, men or women. Not everybody's deserving of love. You need to improve yourself to be a capable partner first, then you deserve somebody good.
Someone around just because you feel like you won't get any better. You attract what you think you deserve. Okay, let's get into it. So number one is the I don't know man. And what is the I don't know man, you ask? It's this. What are your career goals? I don't know. Well, what do you want for the future? I don't know. What do you want for dinner? I don't know. What movie do you want to watch? I don't know. What are you looking for in a relationship? I don't know.
Fair take right away. Fair take. You need somebody with goals set. You need somebody with a future trajectory. And you know what? Like, even whether he's undecided, he might stay in that state of being undecided throughout the entirety of his life and pretty well getting nowhere. Or he could be like, okay, yeah, I feel like living my life overseas now, and just it shakes up your entire life. No, you need somebody with a solid life plan. So I agree that this is a red flag.
It's the man who can't make up his mind and lacks decisiveness and intentionality. It's the man who doesn't think about his future or what he wants. It's the man who, even though he probably doesn't even realize it, is looking for someone to lead him. If you are a feminine woman,
I think that's a fair take. That's probably true. But there's also a lot of guys out there that are just flat out like, there's laid back in a good way, and then there's laid back in kind of that way where it's like, I don't know what I want to do with my life, those types of things. You could just be laid back, but I'm not saying that makes you for a good partner either.
Then this is likely something that's not going to make you happy and is not a good quality for a life partner. When you're with someone like this, and when you're with someone that's just like, really passive about things, that means that you are the one who's going to have to step up.
Hang on. It's okay to be passive, but not passive when it comes to important things. When it comes to like, hey, what would you like to eat? I don't know. I don't care. There's a difference in levels to those types of things.
The time. And that is a hard no. He might be a nice guy, but this relationship will just be incredibly unfulfilling and probably lack a lot of passion. Number two is that he says all of his exes were crazy. This always makes me laugh. This is a huge red flag.
This is a toughie. I understand where she's coming from completely. I understand, because you can equate it to the same thing that the girls do. You know how every single time a girl talks about her ex, it's narcissist, controlling. You can fire off all of the buzzwords. The problem is, this very well could be a red flag. You know what? I'm going to say this right now. My hair is ridiculous right now. I don't look like somebody who's exactly presentable enough to be talking about this topic. I'm getting a haircut after this video. So it'll be fixed for future videos, okay? There's nothing I can do with this up here right now. There's nothing. It's messed up. Anyways, when you talk to a girl, no matter what, every single time that you're talking about it, unless like you have like the 1% of girl, the ex was controlling, narcissist, maybe abusive, you get that. That could be true for the guys, where they were the entire problem in the relationship and they're just projecting it onto their past partners. But what she's kind of ignoring in this is that, excuse my language, guys have dicks. Sometimes that's all they think about. The dick likes crazy. So past partners for men could very well actually be crazy. You got a little bit of a, I'd say 75% what she's talking about, but there's a good 25% of the population, when they claim that, they mean it.
At some point, you think that he would maybe take a step back and think, hey, what's the one commonality in all of these situations? What's the one thing that stays the same in every single relationship? Oh, it's me. If a man thinks all of his exes are crazy, then I think that it's either one of three situations.
Again, very, very fair take here. Completely understandable. I'm not disagreeing with it.
One, he's probably just very disrespectful toward women in general. He's likely very disregarding of their valid emotions and feelings and needs. And
it comes down to the individual, man. There are some people that make a big deal out about nothing, and then if they, I don't know, they stepped on a rock the wrong way and they need like emotional validation for something like that. Those people exist, okay? And there's more of them than people might think that you have to deal with.
Probably just doesn't understand women very well, and that makes him feel bad about himself as a man, and so he says that they're all crazy. Two, sometimes there are just crazy people out in the world, like they do exist. Maybe all of his exes are crazy, but in that case, he's probably not a very good judge of character.
No, see, that's the other thing. That's what girls don't get. This is why I'm a little bit interested in reacting to this video today. Sometimes, and if you're a guy watching this video, what I would imagine at this channel, the vast majority of you are, if you happen to be a guy watching this video, you can understand sometimes the craziness is worth it in some scenarios. I'm not somebody who can tolerate crazy. That's not me. But there are a lot of guys out there that have no problem dealing with the crazy because they get what they would like in bed. So they're a judge of character. They're just willing to accept the consequences.
Or maybe he's just very crazy and toxic himself. Or three, he has somehow made all of these girls feel crazy or
you know what? That's actually true too. That could be the case.
Feel utterly insane because of how irritating he is. So in all three situations, not good, best to avoid. You also don't want someone who talks about other people in a negative way. You want someone with high integrity. That is so important. If you develop...
That's another toughie too, because she's right in what she's saying right there, but you could actually have a bad partner. It's just the pattern. You can figure it out if it's like, all my exes were blank. And they could all file under that blanket statement right there. Again, for men, I'd say 25% of the time it's true. But if you talk bad about one and they were actually bad, I just confuse why people stay together. I will never understand that, but it's a common human trait, I guess.
A deep, intimate relationship with this man and you break up a year later, is he gonna go talking about you behind your back and calling you crazy?
Probably.
Is he gonna reveal all of the intimate details that you told him in confidence? It's possible.
That's disrespectful. You shouldn't be doing that to people ever. I look down upon those people that do that.
Now, a big red flag, not just in men, but in everyone, is that they can't ever apologize. They can't ever own up to it when they do something wrong, and they never take fault for anything.
I agree with that completely. 100%. Those people... I was about to say, you should break... Yeah, you know what? You should break up with those people when they're men. I, of course, would never suggest such a thing in a million years, okay? You two, I'm very grateful to be on this platform. It's just what some crazy people think, okay? Some would say that all women have a little bit of an accountability issue, so that's something that you have to deal with. I would never in a million years suggest such a thing. If a man has that trait, ridiculous, get him out of there.
Be a person that will be incredibly hard to have as a life partner. It is just not conducive to a healthy relationship, and it will lead to anger, resentment, and just feeling very misunderstood, undervalued, and unloved. Everyone makes mistakes. Even the most perfect person in the whole entire world makes mistakes. A red flag is not that a man made a little mistake. A red flag is that he can't recognize it, own up to it, and just have the emotional maturity to say, oops, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. So
sometimes the I sorry doesn't really work. But here's the thing, because everything that she just said in those past couple sentences are completely correct, right? But the problem is that you also have a good chunk of guys that are just running game, and we could dive a little bit deeper into it, but some people run their relationships, and again, I don't have the energy for this. I just want somebody to love. I want a life partner. That's me. But what a lot of people actually do is The goal will be to make the woman feel whether that's good, whether that's bad, as long as you're not, the boring partner. Because even if she's feeling negatively about you, that's better than just being your baseline self. Disagree with me all you want in the comments. Guys who know it understand what I'm talking about.
You might not be able to notice this next red flag until you really get to know him better, but it's very important to notice, how does he act when he gets angry? Does he
Get him out of there. Get him out of there if he's not in control of his emotions. Ridiculous there is, and this is what I was talking about at the beginning of the video. If you are not a capable partner yourself, you do not deserve love. And if you are not in control of your emotions, then you do not deserve love as a man.
express his anger in healthy ways? Is he still respectful to you or whoever else is involved? Can he handle himself in these moments? It is totally okay for a man to feel upset or angry. His emotions are valid. But does he do this in a mature way? Or is he totally immature and disrespectful? Does he yell at you? Does he say rude things that you'd normally never hear him say? Does he do reckless things?
Well, it's okay to express it, but express it in a mature manner. It's okay to, I would say, raise your voice just a little bit if you're really, really angry, depending on, what your partner did. But there's definitely a line. But I think that every single man should be in control of his emotions. If you can't control your emotions, get involved in martial arts. That'll fix you completely. That is something that you absolutely need to have in check, and you do not deserve love if you're not somebody who is capable of controlling your emotions. I'm talking about if you're a man over here.
When he's angry. This is a big no and won't make for a good life partner. You want to be able to fully trust and depend on him.
And on top of that, testosterone is a big, big, big thing. You never know if you're going to get involved with somebody who's going to be abusive down the road too. So avoid that at all costs.
If you want to get married one day, maybe you even want to have kids one day, how will he react when they do something wrong? What kind of example will he be setting? And just a side note, when a man is upset or you guys are having an argument, if he respectfully excuses himself and says that he wants to come back to this conversation later, a lot of women can feel really triggered by that because it can make them feel like they're being abandoned. But
it depends on the situation. If you're arguing with your partner, let's say, thankfully, I have the best wife in the world, guys, so I'm not attributing this to my own situation over here. Let's say, for example, my wife and I happen to be arguing, and she doesn't do this because, again, I love her with all my heart. We fight once in a blue moon, okay? I'm just using this as a complete hypothetical because I know my wife can come across the content sometimes. Completely hypothetical. Let's say her and I were arguing, and she's going over the top. I'm somebody who I've done martial arts my entire life. It's one of the reasons why I'm in complete control of myself. I'm very good at keeping my composure, okay? If I was arguing with my wife and she was kind of going over the top, insulting, things like that, like you see people typically do, then it's acceptable to excuse yourself from the conversation. But if you excuse yourself from the conversation just because you're unable to control your emotions and you go upstairs and go beat a pillow or something, that's stupid, and you're not in control of your emotions. So you do not deserve a girlfriend.
this is actually quite healthy and mature. A lot of women love to talk about things, especially in the moment.
That's not healthy and mature. If you need to excuse yourself from a conversation because you can't control yourself, that is not healthy and that is not mature. That's not as bad as lashing out.
But men sometimes need time to process their thoughts and kind of calm down a little bit. And so you might feel really bad in that moment and you're feeling abandoned, but him doing this can actually be a huge sign of maturity and that he has the self-awareness to realize what he needs. Next
That's ridiculous. Don't listen to that.
red flag in men. I'm just gonna say it. This is just my opinion. 98% of the time, men can't just be totally platonic friends with.
No, not 98% of the time. 110% of the time. Guys, a pill that not a lot of people refuse to acknowledge for some reason is that men do not talk to women unless there is some sort of romantic interest involved.
A woman. I do think that it is easier for women to be friends with men, but not necessarily the other way around. And don't get me wrong, I have male friends, but the differentiation.
Men and women cannot be friends. There is literally only one singular excuse for this, and that is my friends' partners. I don't look at them as I don't look at them as regular girls. I look at them as my friend's partner, and there is nothing but respect and happiness from those people. I not that I don't want to make it sound like they're ugly or anything, but I get turned off completely from the idea oh, that's my friend's girlfriend. Never in a million years would I ever think about that. That's the only excuse, and even then, I wouldn't want to see them just one-on-one. You cannot have. It's ridiculous. She just said that she has guy friends. Every single one of them wants to fuck her.
factor here is that they're all closer with my husband. We don't just plan things regularly to go hang out alone. That would be very weird. I think
Sorry, I didn't know that she was talking about that like the excuse that I just talked about.
that if a man chooses to try to keep his ex as a friend, it's a red flag.
Absolutely, it's a red flag. It is a, oh, we might be having a little bit of a relationship issue, so let me call her up type issue.
Usually a reason he wants to keep her around. Of course, to every rule, there are always exceptions.
There are zero exceptions to that rule. Absolutely none. And I'm not going to take it from any of you guys commenting down below, you little weasels who can't admit it. Well, I actually have this girlfriend. Stop coping. You are in the friend zone. I know it.
Like maybe your families are best family friends and they're gonna see each other all the time and they want to be on good terms. That makes sense. Maybe they work in the same professional environment sometimes.
If you start dating somebody and for whatever reason they are, whether that's work or family, they are still seeing their ex, that they're still involved with their ex in any way, get out of there before you get hurt.
It's obviously best to be on good terms. Or maybe he was previously married, had kids, and got divorced. It's obviously ideal to be on good terms with your ex-partner, the mother of your children, and to have a sort of like healthy, respectful relationship.
Nope, that can always be rekindled. Always be rekindled. And the guy knows what she's like in the bedroom, and those feelings will always be there.
Good terms with someone though is one thing, that's fine. But being like legit friends, that's generally not a good sign in my opinion.
Again, not generally. It's 100% a 100% red flag. I'm sorry I said 100% a couple times there.
Is when his actions don't align with his words. If he says one thing and then never ever follows through on it. If he says that he really likes you, but he puts in absolutely zero effort. Actions speak louder than words.
I think that was a bad example, to be honest, because there are guys that could like people but not want to put in any effort. But what you need to do in a relationship, you do need to put effort into maintaining your girlfriend. That's something that you must do. So if a guy's not doing that, then yeah, I do agree with that. That's a red flag.
Trust his actions over what he says. You also don't particularly want a man who's not in alignment and doesn't do what he says. Again, people make mistakes sometimes, and that is okay. But if this is a pattern, like you're seeing this behavior over and over again, then that is not conducive to a healthy relationship.
Very well said. Agree with this one completely so far, and red flag number 6 that she has for us.
Lack trust in him. You won't feel his love and devotion to you, and you'll always be questioning things. So it's best to avoid these types of men. Now,
Hey, I have absolutely nothing to add to that point. Very, very, very well said. Great red flag.
7, just to be clear for anyone new, this channel is for feminine women who are interested in more masculine partners. So
well, here I am. Hey, you know what? For the most part, this video has been very good. There was just that one about, I think the only one so far was about the male friends, where even then she was kind of like on the right track, but it just a little bit of corrective was needed.
7, red flag is that he doesn't pay on the first date.
Agreed! Why is that, dude? Why is that something that is switching now in culture? No, you know what? I question it, and then it makes complete sense because everything is just bending backwards and everything's wrong in society nowadays. I don't care that the girl asked you out first. You pay on the first date. It's what you do. And you know what? People come back and they'll say something like, what do you mean it's what you do? She asked me out. You're the guy. It is what you do. It's that simple. You pay on the first date. Absolutely. Not split. Not whoever it was that asked out. That's ridiculous, man. If you can't pay on the first date, you shouldn't be dating.
Now, if this was me, I wouldn't go out with him again. This shows that he's not in his masculine energy and he doesn't have that protector provider mentality. It's a very clear indicator of that, and that he's not willing to make even a small investment to see if you guys could potentially have a beautiful future together.
But the problem is, like, she's right, but there's so much mixed messaging nowadays where guys are saying, because it's true, there are guys that are just being used for dinner and things like that, and I understand the risks, but if you're gonna go out, take the risk. That's what you have to do. You have to avoid the bad people, use your eyeballs, get knowledgeable about how people are, pay on the first date.
But here's the thing, men don't want to feel like they're being taken advantage of. So in my opinion, I do think it's kind to offer to split the check, and then hopefully he will say, no, I've got this. And you don't argue or try again at that point. You just receive and say thank you. I know some people.
You know what? I don't see anything wrong with that. My wife actually did that the first time we went out. Man, we were kids then. I started dating my wife since high school. Hey, you know what? If you're new here, I'm a good authority figure on this. I've had a very, very successful relationship for a decade. I've been dating the same girl since high school. We've had experiences like it's I got this covered, man. I think what I've said so far in the video has been pretty good.
People have different opinions on this, but I think on a first date, never mentioning the check can kind of sometimes come off rude. Of course, there are exceptions. Like sometimes you got to read the room, you know, like sometimes.
I don't know. It's understandable what she's saying. It's understandable. I wouldn't think of it either way. If let's say I was going on a first date and then the girl I was with offered to pay the check, like I would decline it either way, but like whatever. But if she didn't mention it, I also wouldn't care about that because I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
He makes it very clear that he wants to pay. And if that's the case, that's great. Just of course, be appreciative. But if he doesn't pay for you, at least you get clarity that he's probably not the right man for you. Because if you're looking for a masculine partner specifically, then this is a red flag.
Another great red flag by her. Hey, so far so good. I wasn't sure what she was gonna say, because a lot of girls end up missing the mark because they don't understand men, but she so far has been doing a really good job.
Red flag, especially for things like the first few dates, is that he never asks you any questions about yourself. He should be interested in getting to know you and not just talking about himself for 2 hours.
Is this a common thing for a lot of guys? I get there's like the odd guy out there that is just very, very self-absorbed or trying to fill the gap because he's nervous with conversation. Like, are you really that bad at going out on first dates that that's something that women experience? Because I don't know if that's common.
You should want to know about things like, how do you like to spend your free time? Where did you grow up? What was it like? Oh, you saw that movie too? What did you think of it? It doesn't need to be these super deep questions. He doesn't need to be asking you about your childhood traumas. There just needs to be effort there and getting to know you and wanting to know your thoughts. However, this does not mean that he should totally bombard you with questions and make you feel like you're in an interview. It should just be clear that he has a real interest in getting to know you. Now,
yeah, well said. Again, are people really that self-absorbed where they just yap the entire time? Honestly, on both sides of the aisle. You should be going out, having a conversation, getting to know people, but then again, society's bending backwards in all a bunch of different shapes that it's not supposed to be in, so why am I surprised? Why am I not surprised? Excuse me.
Next, if he never makes plans to see you, like never plans things out in advance with you, another red flag. If he's just shooting you a text like, hey, going out with my boys in an hour to the bar, you want to join? Or
okay, so that one comes down to the individual. Let me hear her full thought here.
9 or 10 p.m. and he texts you like, hey, I'm about to watch a movie at my place, want to come? That's not good enough.
If it's a late night text, yes. If it's a last minute plan with your friends, again, depends on the individual. But culture's also changed nowadays where I'm not playing that, like, it's understandable for anybody to not want to play that stupid chasing game. It was different back in the old days when you were playing the chasing game, but now, like, let's say I was single, if I went out with somebody, I would expect her to show some interest in me as well, try to plan something, because you have to worry about being just another guy in the inbox. I want to see that she wants to talk to me again. So that again comes down to the individual. Maybe after the first date, if it hits off okay, I would probably plan it then. Like, hey, when can I expect to see you again? And then, you know what, I would honestly leave it on her. I'd be like, hey, I would love to see you again. Send me a message whenever you're free. I'll make some time. And if you don't hear from her, you have your answer right there, because you could just be a forgotten person within the roster. But you could meet someone very genuine, very beautiful. So, again, falls on the individual. But a red flag is if you barely know this guy, you get the you up text very late at night, you know?
That is the only sort of communication that you're having with this man, then he is not really interested in you. Time to move on and not spend any more energy on that person. It should be more like, hey, are you available this weekend? I'd love to take you out to dinner. Or something like, this new movie just came out. Do you want to see it with me on Friday? That's what we're looking for. If he's
that's more of the case. I agree with that.
not planning things in advance with you, again, he's probably just not really interested in you and he's just keeping you around. Definitely a red flag. It's best to focus your energy elsewhere. Also, just to be clear, I'm not saying that he can never text you last minute for something fun. That's not what I'm saying. But if that is the only sort of communication that's happening, then again, red flag.
Okay, I think the full thought there is actually pretty well said for the most part. But again, for this one, it comes down to the individual. You have to know what kind of guy you're getting involved with.
10th red flag is that he takes way too long to call or text you back. Now, obviously, of course, there are always exceptions. Like maybe he's on a camping trip and he doesn't really have service, or he has...
I don't know. That's become quite the ick for a lot of girls. You have to play that stupid game. That's another thing. It might be one of the reasons why I'm screwed. If I'm on my phone, if I have it in my hand and I'm not doing anything, like I have a couple messages to answer right now, but I'm going to wait because I'm recording right now. If my phone's in my hand and someone messages me, the respectful thing to do is to then answer the message. And you have to play that stupid game with girls. You have to. It's an ick now. Ridiculous. Oh, sorry for my time and communication, my respect. Here you go. Oh, sorry, I didn't know I had to wait and appear busy. I mean, regular people are busy, but the problem with me is like, I have an office job. I have 3 jobs that all require computers. My phone's always next to me. So I would appear like I'm never doing anything besides the time where like I'm recording or streaming. You know what I mean? Even when I'm like at my actual day job, my phone's in my hand. I'm available to chat constantly. I can answer in an instant. That would be an ick. You know? You have to play that stupid game. So I disagree with that.
Has a really important work function that day, or he's just really busy at work. But like in general, if he's taking forever to get back to you, like that is a pattern that you're recognizing, then you're probably an afterthought.
No, he's playing. He could just be playing game. He could just be spitting game. Don't think about that one too much, man, because culture has shifted men to be that way. Not giving that much attention. You got to just play the game. It's ridiculous.
Don't want to be an afterthought. Next red flag in men is when he clearly can't take care of his things. If his home is a disaster, if his sheets are clearly never really changed regularly, if his clothes have stains all over them, if his car is always messy and dirty.
That's obvious. That's one of the most obvious red flags of all time. Don't date someone dirty.
If his dog is never brushed or never walked, it's not a good sign. This just shows a lack of responsibility, a lack of maturity, and a lack of discipline.
And quite frankly, it's shocking that someone like that ever lives on their own, but there's a ton of people out there that are like that, and that should be an absolute red flag. You should be gone immediately.
All traits that are not very good for a potential partner. If he can't take care of those things, how do you think he's going to care for you? How do you think he's going to care for your future kids one day if you want?
Very well said. He's going to treat you and the children the exact same way that he treats his bedroom. He's going to treat it the exact same way that all the dishes are piling up. You name it. However he's taking care of it, it's the same way he's going to take care of you, with maybe a tiny little bit more of compassion.
How do you think he's going to care for the home that you guys own together one day? Probably not very good. He's likely not going to change, and you don't want to be his mother. Now, he doesn't have to be obsessed with cleanliness and organization to be a good person or a good partner.
It needs to be good enough. It needs to be presentable. It needs to be not disease-filled and dirty.
To be real, most men are a little bit messier than women in general, and that's okay. We all have our strengths. But there's a big difference between having a junk drawer in the kitchen and maybe leaving some clothes out in the bedroom sometimes versus a dirty nightmare.
Obviously, like it's just common sense on that one. You don't want to. Let me simplify that one for you. Don't date someone dirty.
A red flag that I think is very important to notice is if he makes condescending or sarcastic jokes at your expense. Here's the
again, that one falls on the individual. My wife and I are consistently jabbing at each other, but truthfully in a playful way. Truthfully, like she makes fun of me for having like look at the hang on. I have the tiniest hands in the world. She makes fun of me like, oh, look at like whenever like if what's funny is I think I mentioned, yeah, I definitely mentioned earlier, I'm somebody who has been fighting my entire life. It's going to sound so cringe coming out of my mouth, but I'm a tough guy. But I'm 5'8" and I have tiny hands. So when I start like manhandling my wife, she's like, "Oh my god, I'm so scared of you and your big masculine hands." It's funny. It's funny to do those types of things. I play the same way with her, you know? It's those types of things that you do. I'm not gonna have those jabs public that I do with my wife, but it's fun like that. I'm comfortable sharing that thing about myself. It falls on the individual. My wife and I are both okay with this. It's all in good fun, and that's the intention. Some people are okay with that. Some people aren't. Maybe he just got your sense of humor incorrectly, because most guys are capable of having this type of sense of humor, and it might just be coming off wrong on the side of women. But there are people that are insecure about themselves and just need to put others down. That also exists. So again, it falls on the individual.
Every joke has a hint of truth. So if he's doing this, he likely has some underlying insecurities or has some negative energy towards you, even if he doesn't even realize it. And this person will not make for a very good teammate. And you want a partner that is devoted to you, sees the best in you, and always lifting you up after almost.
And my wife and I, like I said, we joke about each other this way, but we have all the best intentions in our heart. We love each other very much, and we do lift each other up.
13 years of being in a relationship with someone, I can't tell you how important this is. All these are tiny little insults that he passes off as jokes, and that's not okay. Even like backhanded compliments, it's all the same thing. There is no point in having a partner around if he is not lifting you up and adding value to your life. Now,
you just also need to do that. There's just a line. There's a line. You need to understand the people that you are, whether or not you're okay with that type of humor.
This next red flag is more so if you have been in a relationship.
Sorry, one more thing to add to that. It becomes a red flag if you express to your partner that you're not okay with that type of humor, but they continue to do it. that's a different story.
With this person for a while, like several months or something. I think it's a red flag after being his girlfriend for at least a little while if he never posts any photos of you on his social media. Now,
hang on. I'm not a social media guy. I can contest to this. I don't post on Facebook or Instagram. I used to, but I just fell out of love with it. I'm 27 years old. I don't feel like doing it anymore. I don't want to. So I don't post anything. If the person is active on social media and does not post his or her partner, very, very, very big red flag. Massive red flag. But for somebody who doesn't use social media, that's fine. That's acceptable.
Of course, some guys don't have social media, or they had one, but they don't really use it anymore. Like,
I think to be like completely off of social media is a red flag in itself, but it just, again, someone having social media, not using it, someone like myself, that's understandable. I even only use Twitter for YouTube purposes. Otherwise, I'd be kind of off social media.
you know, it's still on the internet, but he just doesn't ever log in anymore. He doesn't ever use it. He doesn't ever post photos anymore. So in that case, if he's not posting a photo of you, that is totally fine. It's in line with his normal behavior. And
Yeah, okay. So she's getting into the same kind of idea as I am. But if he's posting regularly, or even fairly regularly, and you never see anything different, that's a problem. And there's somebody else that he does not want to see you.
Honestly, I love a man that's not very active on social media. I think in general that's a good thing. But if he's normally on
social media has been absolutely nothing but toxic for the entirety of human history.
social media, and if he's regularly posting photos after you guys being together for months, and he has never once posted a photo of you guys together,
Either that, or if you have to like bug him to and basically force him to and nag him into doing so, that's also a major red flag. Don't bother, just leave the guy.
that screams red flag to me. That sounds like he might not want to put it out there for some reason. Again, if he's
Yep. Unfortunately, that could be the possibility that you actually are very, 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 very ugly, in which case I feel bad for you, but it's still not right for him to do. But what's most likely the case is there's somebody else out there that doesn't want to see that he's with you.
never posting photos on social media, then that's fine. You can just ignore this point. But if he is posting photos of him out with the boys and him holding a fish and him with his dog, but never a picture of you guys together, there's probably a
we
real
get the
lack
point.
of commitment there. And last but not least, probably one of the most important red flags of them all. If something in your gut feels off about him, don't ignore it.
That's a tough one, too. Not everyone's gut's right. There are a lot of people out there that are just kind of like insecure. I don't mean to, dude, it's going to sound so egotistical, but my gut's oftentimes right. Has your gut been right throughout your entire life? If so, trust your gut. If your gut has been nothing but insecure your entire life and it's brought you problems, don't trust your gut.
Your intuition is very smart. Your intuition knows more than you think it does. Don't discount these feelings that you have, even if it seems like on paper everything's going good. Now, those are all the red flags. Of course, there's more that exists, and if you have any, share them below in the comments.
And you know what? I actually really, really enjoyed that video from her. There's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of women that miss the mark on these types of things, and for the most part, she had it pretty well. I hope that I added a little bit of value to this. We've been lacking a little bit on the self-improvement content that I wanted to make, so hopefully this video was enjoyable. Comment down below whether you agree or disagree, although I'm not going to lie to you, I had the correct takes in this entire video, guys. I've been doing it for a long time. Okay? Please go show the creators some love in the pinned comment description down below, and if you want to talk more about dating, then check out this video on screen. I'd love to have you over there. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Take care, guys.